Hello, and good morning. My name is Cooper,
And mine is Mickey.
and today we're going to give a brief overview of the horror genre.
So what makes a horror film a horror film? The primary motivation of a horror film is to ignite fear within the audience. Horror films have the capacity to frighten, scare, disgust, or startle the audience. As a film genre, it has been around for 100 years and has grown recently in popularity. It can also overlap with many other genres.
As a genre, horror has a lot of conventions that can help viewers to figure out that the movie that they're watching is, in fact, a horror movie. Directors of horror films often incorporate cultural anxieties of the time in order to play on their viewers' very real fears. In order to do so, many directors use supernatural elements or other outlandish characters and tropes to metaphorically represent these cultural fears. For example, George Romero used zombies to represent fears about biological warfare during the Cold War in his movie Night of the Living Dead.
Within the horror genre, there are several subgenres including comedy, disaster, psychological, science fiction, gothic, zombie, slasher, found footage. These subgenres include the same features as all other horror films, but incorporate them in ways that are specific to their genre.
Psycho is considered the quintessential film of the horror genre. The director Hitchcock tells the story of Marion Crane, who, after stealing $40,000 from her employer, runs away with her boyfriend and finds herself at a small motel in the middle of nowhere, where she meets Norman Bates, an anxious young man with maternal conflicts and taxidermal interests.
Made in 1960, Psycho took the developing horror genre to new heights in terms of popularity and quality, and placed its director Alfred Hitchcock as the master of the genre. Psycho uses a level of technical precision that was novel to the time period to deliver shocks and surprises, melodramatic realism, and psychological symbolism and hidden meanings. Psycho defined the genre by connecting audiences with their own fears, using dark and sordid imagery that stand the test of time.
Get Out is an example of an award-winning horror film. Director Jordan Peele tells the story of Chris and Rose, an interracial couple, as they spend the weekend with Rose's parents. As the plot progresses, secrets and dark truths are revealed about the disturbing nature of the family.
Get Out was one of the most discussed movies of 2017, showing how a horror film can make a very profound statement about race relations in America. It was praised for its use of satirical and ironic comedy, adding some nuance to what would otherwise be a very depressing film. Get Out pushes the limits of horror in terms of asking audiences what they consider horror and what they consider life.
Hereditary is an example of a modern horror film. For Ari Aster's feature-length directorial debut, he tells the story of a dysfunctional family impacted by the death of their grandmother, their domestic tensions tearing each other apart. As the family is haunted by tragic and disturbing occurrences, dark secrets begin to unravel.
This film plays homage to many landmark films of the horror genre, but also utilizes surreal and dreamlike camera work to expand the boundaries of horror. The film uses many supernatural elements and religious iconography and themes to explore the pitfalls of the nuclear family. In both content and form, Hereditary represents a modern film that seeks to double down upon the successful tactics used by historical horror films, but also wants to explore more effective and relevant techniques that make up the future of cinema.